My journey in Christ began pretty different than a lot of the other members in my community group. My girlfriend, her best friend was a member of Crosspoint and told her about this church in Winter Park that was in a YMCA gymnasium, and she had gone that Sunday. I think it was the first weekend of football season, so I elected to stay at home. She had a really cool and awesome, unique experience, and she came home later that evening and just raving about the sermon and how cool it was and the music and the people she met there. And she invited me. She told me there was a community group the next day, and something weird inside happened to me, and maybe it was the fact that I was actually invited to something like that. I elected to go. The very first day was a lot of introductions and just explaining who we are and what our journey in Christ looked like and what was our introduction to it. And going around the circle was kind of awesome and really encouraging to hear other people have different stories and it not being the preconceived notion that I had. And so my turn came around and I was a little anxious, but I was aware, and I kept on looking at other people to see what their reactions were, and everyone seemed to be really interested and really receptive to what I was saying. And I really didn't know what I took away from it, but I knew I wanted to go back. I had a bunch of questions, and I think that following week there was a baptism was coming up, and Jamie reached out to me via email, and he was like, do you want to get baptized? I know that you're a new member. And so I emailed him back and told him that it's something that I would like to do eventually, but I do have a lot of questions and I don't think I'm ready. It made me really curious and really interested in what God could do in my life. I would go to community group and talk about my week and talk about questions or experiences that I had, and just my reaction to certain things. And James and some of the other guys there would be like, that's God working in your life. And sometimes you need that as a new Christian because you're not really sure who it is that God really is, and what He can do. I was going through some tough trials, and Jamie kind of pointed out that maybe this was the appropriate time to accept God into my life. In the Crosspoint office, I remember being really broken down and really vulnerable and sitting in that office and saying the prayer to accept God into my life with Jamie, and left there encouraged but still kind of sad about the things that were happening in my life. And a week after that, those conversations, I texted James and let him know, it's like, I finally know what God's grace is. Easter rolled around and I was getting really excited about it because it was going to be my first Easter in the season of Good Friday and all that stuff as a Christian. So I was really excited to just to experience it. And I found out that baptisms were going to fall on the same day of Easter. And so Jamie sent me an email, I think it was, and asked me if I want to be baptized. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm ready. And so Jamie said, all right, baptisms are going to be out on the pool deck afterwards. So I remember going to the locker room, getting changed and walking out and just seeing massive amounts of people and just kind of thinking to myself, Jamie never told me this. But it was something that I really wanted to do. Just hearing Jamie's message about what Christ had done for us and just the message of Easter. I mean, I knew I was ready to give that outward expression that I've accepted Christ in my life. And I did it and I felt great. That's something I needed to see happen in my life as well. It's that transformation starting to happen. I think it was a little more apparent to other guys in the group at the time. But for me, it was hearing guys tell me like, hey, God's working in your life, and me not really taking notice till that point. I found myself starting to give guys advice that was given to me in their trials and their hardships, and that was really unique, and it was really cool to see that happen and to hear myself giving that advice and feeling empowered, but not only a perspective that I'm teaching, but that I was helping other guys. And I found myself praying for or thanking God for the God-centered friendships and the relationships that I had built over the past 2 seasons, because that was something I hadn't had in ever. I'm so excited to get community group ramped up this fall, and just to entering the season as a non-rookie, as a veteran or whatever, just go in there and see Christ work in other people's life and kind of have a different perspective. But I mean, just seeing what Christ has done in my life this year, he's given me direction and he's given me purpose. And the daily stresses of my life of yesteryear, I can't say they're still not there, but at least I have more confidence and I have more comfort knowing that it's not in my hands. Like, my destiny is in his hands, and there's only so much I can do. And having faith in somebody is awesome, and I'm really thankful and grateful for it.